Yes, Avinash. Are you there?
Yes, sir.
Chalo. Uh, what are we doing?
Metals and non-metals.
Metals and non-metals. Till where are we completed?
Up to luster, up to density was completed, sir.
Yeah, okay. So once again, let us see now what are the properties of metals and non-metals. Okay. So as I said that total in the periodic table we have 118 elements. Yes.
Yes,
So
sir.
total any matter whatever you see around you, any matter you take, that all matter is made up of from this 118 elements only. Okay. And in this 118 elements are mainly classified into metals, non-metals and metalloids. But in this chapter we are going to discuss only about the metals. Okay. So metals and non-metals. So elements are generally classified into metals, non-metals, and of course there are metalloids also there. Metalloids means what? Which have both the properties, metallic and non-metallic properties which is there, then they are called as the metalloids. Is this clear? Yeah. So now already said that metals are the elements which forms positive ions by losing electrons. So that's what they are called as electropositive elements. Okay. So metals they loses the electrons. Okay. So to attain the stability. So that's what they are. When they lose electrons, so the negatively charged particles they are losing. So they are attaining the positive charge. Hence they are called as the electropositive elements. And you can give a number of examples for metals like iron, copper, aluminum, gold, platinum, lead, potassium, all this we can give an example. And non-metals are what? Which are not metals, okay? And these are the elements which gains electrons, and electrons are negatively charged particles. So when they take the electrons, gains the electrons, they become negatively charged, okay? So then they are called electronegative elements.
Electronegative elements.
Very good.
Yes.
Okay. So now come to the next one. So these are the some of the properties here. The first one is malleability. What is the malleability I said?
Property of a substance due to which it can be beaten into thin sheets
You have
and
to remember, you have to say in your own words, not as just like how I given. So malleability means what? Metals are beaten, so continuously then can made into the thin sheets. The property of making the metals into thin sheets is called the malleability. Ductility means what?
it will become drawn into a thin wires.
Thin wires. They are called as a okay ductility. Next, conduction. What is the conduction of heat?
Metals,
Are the
metals are
good
good
conductors.
conductors of
Metals are the good conductors of heat and electricity also. Yes or no? Heat and electricity. And then we can say that appearance, the metals are very shiny. Whenever you cut the freshly cut metal, it looks shiny, and generally metals are okay, they are shiny, and this property is called as a luster. And you know that metals are very hard. Okay. So I said, you know, like if I have one pen, so if I give one pen to you, easily you can break, but at the same okay type of, if you have a metal rod, can you break it? No. So they are very hard. And the density means what? Mass per volume. Okay. So
yes,
mass
sir.
per volume is called as the density, and the density of the metals are very high. Okay. For example, if you take one wood, okay, one wood okay block you take, and the same okay volume of you take one iron block also, and both if you drop in a water, so what you will observe?
Sir.
You take one block of wood, you know, no? Okay.
Yes, yes,
One
sir.
wooden block and same volume, same size of one iron block, both you take
Yes.
and put on in a water. So what you will observe?
The wood will become dry.
In water, if we keep this both, what happens?
Yes.
Wood, wood,
The wood is
wood means you
lost
know.
the. Yes, sir.
So wooden block I am taking, for example, see this much of wooden block I am taking, okay, this much of wooden block, and the same size of a metal block also, one metal which is made up of iron, copper or something, any metal, and these two blocks I am okay dropping in the water. So what happens I am asking?
Drop.
When you drop in the water,
Yes, sir.
what happens?
The metal will go faster under the water.
So metal block will sink. Sink means water. మునిగిపోతుంది. Okay, sink. Okay, and would float. పైన తేలుతుంది. అర్థమైందా? So you have to say that when you take the wooden block and metal block, and if you drop in a water, so what happens? The metal block will sink. Why?
It has more weight.
So that's called density. Instead of more weight, you have to say that it's more denser. Is this clear to you? Okay. Now then come to the some other properties here. Okay, these are melting and boiling points. What is the melting point?
Melting point.
What is the melting point? You don't know melting. What is melting? Hurry.
కరగబెట్టడం.
So melting means what? The process of changing the solid into liquid state.
Liquid.
Yes or no? The process of changing the solid state from matter from solid state to liquid state. This is called as a melting. Okay. Now for example, if I have two things, okay, one non-metal and other, let's take metal only. If you want to melt the metal, okay, how much temperature you need? For example, I have this iron rod and I want to melt this iron rod. So how much heat I want? And for example, I have same plastic one, this one only, and if I want to melt it, how much heat I required? Which one melt easily?
Plastics.
Plastic can melt easily. So just 50, 60, 70, 80, 100 degrees Celsius if you keep, so that may melt. Yes or no? But for to melt the iron, it requires 2000 above degrees Celsius of temperature. How much? 2000 degrees Celsius above temperature is required to melt it. So the melting point is very high. Yes or no? For example, you see if you take the ice, simple I am saying, ice melting point is what? 0 degrees Celsius. How much it is? 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. So but if you take the metals, generally metals have high melting point. Okay, approximately they have approximately 2000 degrees Celsius of temperature is required to melt them. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So that's called melting point. Okay, and boiling point. What is the boiling point?
మరగబెట్ట.
Boiling point means what? The process in which the liquid converts into gaseous state.
Gas.
Liquid converted into gaseous state. That is called as a boiling point. This is a melting point. Okay, and boiling point means what? A boiling point. Okay, so in the melting point, what happens here? Melting is solid state to liquid state. Solid state to liquid state. This is called as a melting. Okay, and a boiling point, what happens? Liquid state to gaseous state. Liquid state to gaseous state. So when you take the ice, so first when you ice heat it, so first it will convert into water. Yes or no? And then water is converting into vapor. Okay, yes or no? So this part to this part is called melting. Okay, and the temperature is melting point, and this point to this point is called boiling. This is called boiling point. And water to convert into vapor, how much temperature is required?
Water to vapor, sir.
Water to vapor. What is the boiling point of water?
100.
Very good, 100 degrees Celsius. So here it is 100 degrees Celsius. Now similarly, if you want to melt the boil the metals, means to metals, first they have to convert into liquid state, and liquid state, when they are converting, approximately they are taking 2000 degrees Celsius, and again it convert into gaseous state. So more temperature increases. Yes or no? So that could be approximately 3000 degrees Celsius. Approximately this is okay. So approximately 3000 degrees Celsius means when you compare this 100 degrees and 3000 degrees, so it's a very high, no? Yes or no? So now see that point, melting and boiling points. Generally metals have high melting and boiling points. High melting and boiling points. Okay, of course few metals, as I said, metals are very hard, but some metals are there, they are very soft, they can cut with the knife also. Example like sodium and potassium. Okay, so sodium, potassium, mercury, cesium, gallium, These are the some of the metals, okay, which have low melting points. Is this clear to you? Yes. Now then come to the state at room temperature. How the generally metals exist in which state? Metals exist in which states?
Solid, sir.
Solid state. Generally, metals are in solid state at room temperature. Okay, but there are very few. Okay, like mercury. Okay, mercury. You know the mercury?
Yes.
Where you use the mercury?
In
In thermometers we use. Yes or no?
yes, sir.
So that is mercury. So mercury at room temperature also it will be in liquid state. In which state it is?
Liquid.
But actually mercury is a metal. Mercury is a metal, but still, okay, it is having less, okay, melting point and boiling point, and that exists in the, okay, liquid at room temperature. And last and final property is the sonority. What is the sonorous?
Property. Sonority, sir.
Sonority. Okay, sonorous means what? The property of making a loud sound. What is that?
The property of making a loud sound.
Loud sound. For example, you take one wooden piece and one metal piece of both, then you drop on the ground. Okay, which will make a loud sound?
Metal.
Metal. You take one wooden one and okay, so you take one, for example, here I have some book, okay, this is a book, and I have this pen, I am hitting with this okay, pen to this book. Now the same way, if I have some metal, you think one bell is there and I am hitting with the, okay, I am hitting the bell, so which produces a loud sound?
Both.
Bell produces more sound.
Yes, sir.
Bell is metal, no?
Yes, sir.
So in the school they are, okay, ring with the metal bell only, no? Are they using wood or something to ring the bell?
No, sir.
What they are using for bell? Which material? Metal they are using. Because metal produces a loud sound. Okay. So this property of making a loud sound is called sonorous, and this is called sonority. The property of producing sound on striking a hard surface is called sonority. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
So now yesterday till they written, no? Now just you take the screenshot, otherwise I'll take simple sentence, I'll say next point you write 8th point. So write the 8th point, I'll say simple in simple way say put side heading melting and boiling points. Put side heading melting and boiling points.
Yes.
I'll say okay, right. Melting, generally metals have high melting and boiling points. High melting, generally metals have high MP and BP you write. MP means what? Melting point, and BP means boiling point. High melting and boiling points. Generally metals have high melting points and boiling points. High melting points and boiling points except sodium, potassium, etc. Sodium, potassium, etc. etc. Okay.
Sodium.
Potassium, etc. etc. Just you write enough. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Next questions. Next point you write. Generally, next point. Generally, ninth point. Generally, metal exist, exist in solid state. Generally metals exist in solid state, at room temperature. Except mercury. except mercury. Now last point, right? Sonority. Sonority. Generally metals are sonorous. Generally metals are sonorous. S-O-N-O-R-O-U-S. S-O-N-O-R-O-U-S. Generally metals are sonorous. They produce loud sound when they strike with other metal. When they strike with the other metal. Clear?
Yes.
Right. Now let's go to the next topic. Next topic, see, this is very important. Exceptions. Okay. So here, what are the exceptions? Exceptions means what? Now general properties what we studied. Some elements behave different. Okay. I said no, like metals are very hard, but some metals are soft. Metals are good conductors, but maybe some metals are bad conductors. So like this exceptions. Okay. Exceptions are little different. Now see here, for example, some exceptions are given on the screen. You can see. Actually, graphite. Okay. Graphite is the allotropic form of carbon. Okay. Means it is other form of carbon. Graphite is what? Other form of carbon. And carbon is what? Non-metal. Carbon is what? Non-metal. Means what? Graphite is also non-metal. And generally we have studied that metals are good conductors and non-metals are poor conductors, bad conductors, right? But here graphite being a non-metal, it's a good conductor. Okay, graphite is being a non-conductor, non-metal, it's not a metal, but still it's a good conductor. So that's the first point. You can see here, graphite is a non-metal, but it's a good conductor of electricity. Is this clear to you?
Yes.
Light. Now then go to the next one. Similarly, iodine. Okay, iodine is considered as non-metal. Iodine is non-metal. It's not a metal, but okay, it's non-metal, but it is lustrous. Lustrous means what? It will shine. When you see the iodine, it looks like shiny. Okay, so it shines. So that is the iodine speciality. It is not a metal. Generally, what we studied here. Okay, 1 minute.
Keep on meeting you. Anyway, I spoke. మాట్లాడను ఇక్కడ పెడుతున్నాను
ఏం ప్రాబ్లం లేదు కదా
అంతా ఓకే అని చెప్పాను వస్తుంది
మీరు చెప్పారు కదా వాళ్ళు వచ్చి అడిగితే ఏం చెప్పాను అవునా వచ్చి అడిగితే ఏం చెప్పాలి మరి నేను సరే చూసుకోండి మళ్ళీ ఓకే ఓకే ఓకే
నాకు అర్జెంట్ వర్క్ ఉందని చెప్పాడు
సరే ఓకే రైట్ So what is the next? So what is the next property? So next property, next exceptions is what? Iodine. Iodine is not a metal, but it's a lustrous. Lustrous means what? It will shine. Is this clear to you? Yes. Now then we studied that generally metals are hard. Generally metals are hard and non-metals are not. Non-metals are not so hard. But again you come to the graphite. Okay, graphite is also one form or other form of the carbon only, and diamond. Sorry, diamond. Diamond is also a form of carbon only. But you know that diamond is one of the hardest material that is available in the nature. Do you know this one? So diamond is one of the hardest material that available in the nature, but it is not a metal. Generally what we study the properties. Okay, non-metals are not so hard. Metals are hard, but non-metals are not. But here diamond being a non-metal, it's so hard. Okay, so see the next point here. Diamond an allotropic form of carbon. Allotropic means what I said. Allotropic means what? It is a form of. Okay, it's a form of carbon. Okay, so and which is not a metal, it's not a metal, but it is very hardest substance. But whereas sodium and potassium being metals, they are soft and they can cut with the knife also. Yes. Now, similarly, next exception is what? Mercury. So, generally metals exist in which state? I said solid state. Okay, but mercury is a metal, but still it exists in liquid which state? Liquid state. Okay, this again exception. Again, let's come to the sodium, potassium, mercury. So, already we discussed generally metals have high melting and boiling points, but okay, sodium, potassium, mercury, these are having low melting points. Okay, and next come to the diamond. Diamond is the non-metal, but this also having a high melting and boiling point. Okay, and last and final one, sodium, potassium and lithium have the low density. Generally metals have high density, but these are the metals with the low density. Okay, so just you remember, but you take a screenshot of this one. Okay, you can take a screenshot of this one. Okay, you need not write now, but later you can write. If you have a time, you can write, but now you can take only screenshot. Done? Yes. So, this all about the physical properties of metals and non-metals is done. Okay. Now, let us come to the chemical properties. Do you know what is the chemical property? Chemical property means what? How do they react with other elements or other compounds or other materials or other substances? That is called a chemical. Is this clear to you? So chemical property. Generally, in the chemistry, we study about two types of properties. One is called as a physical property and second is called as a chemical property. Physical property means what? Which appear, okay, like we can see, okay. So that is called a physical property. Chemical property means what? Internally how they reacting with other elements, other substances. So this is called as a chemical property. Okay. Right. Now see here, these are the chemical properties. Okay. Now let us discuss one by one about the chemical properties. Chemical properties of metals. So heading is chemical property of metals. Heading is what? Chemical property of metals. Alright, the chemical property of metals. Now I will explain you one by one. Listen carefully here. Okay. So here metals react with oxygen. When metals are heated or burnt, then what happens? They react with the oxygen present in the atmosphere. Is this clear to you? That is called chemical reactions. So they are reacting. Okay. When they are reacting, then what happens? They forms one new substance. That is called. You might have learnt about the physical properties and chemical properties. Yes or no? So physical properties means what? No change in the composition. Means if water is there, so there is no change in the composition. The water will be water only. Maybe it turns into ice or maybe it turns into vapor, but it composition will not change. That water formula is H2O, remaining H2O only. Okay, and no new substance is formed here. In the physical change, no new substance is formed. But here the chemistry, in the chemical chemical change is what? Here composition will change, new substances formed. Okay, again we cannot get that substances back under normal conditions. For example, you take one carbon means other is magnesium. So magnesium ribbon. Okay, so when you burn the magnesium will burn in oxygen and form the magnesium oxide. What it forms? Magnesium oxide, that is ash. Okay, ash means burda. Okay, like it forms an ash and that's called magnesium oxide. Now after burning magnesium, it's forming the magnesium oxide. Can you again make that ash into magnesium? Can you turn again magnesium oxide to magnesium? No. Once it is changed, that completely changed. Okay, so the new materials, new substance are forming. This property is called a chemical change. Is this clear to you?
Yes.
So now in the chemical properties of metal, reaction with oxygen, So here you see almost all metals combine with oxygen to form metal oxide. To form what? Metal oxide. Like for example, just I told you, magnesium. When burned in oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide. Okay, aluminium. When burned in oxygen, then when it reacts with oxygen, it forms magnesium oxide. Okay, when for example you take calcium, when calcium reacting with oxygen, it forms calcium oxide. So metal, when they react with oxygen, it forms metal oxide. Is this clear?
Yes.
Now see here, for example, so this is the general reaction. So general reaction is what? Metal. Okay, here once again I'll write. So metal, okay, when react with oxygen, it form metal oxide. That's all. This is a general reaction, very simple. Okay, that is called metal oxide. Okay, now for example here you see example copper. Okay, so here you see this example. I am taking the copper and I am heating the copper in presence of oxygen. In presence of what? Oxygen. Okay, in presence of oxygen, I will heat the copper. When I heat the copper in presence of oxygen, then it forms copper oxide. Metal is copper and its oxide. So copper oxide is forming here. Is this clear to you? Copper oxide. Okay. And normally when you, this is called a chemical reaction. This is called what? Chemical reaction. And in this, what are which elements are reacting here? What are reacting here?
Metal, copper, oxygen.
So metal, that is copper and oxygen are reacting. So which are reacting here? They are called reactants. What they are called? Reactants. Okay. Now when they are reacting, after their reaction, what is forming?
Copper oxide.
Copper oxide. So this copper oxide is called product. What it is called? Product. Is this clear to you now? Which are reacting, they are called reactants. After the reaction, what is a new substance is forming? That is called as a product. Okay. So here these are the reactants, copper reacting with oxygen. So these are the reactants and we are getting the copper oxide. And now this is called the chemical reaction. What it is called? Chemical reaction. This reaction in the chemistry we can write in short by using the symbols and formula. Okay. This reaction, any reaction in the chemistry we can write in short term by using the symbols and formulae, and this is called chemical equation. What it is called?
Chemical equation.
So chemical equation means what? We write the chemical reaction in short, in simple, by using the symbols and formulae. So here copper symbol is Cu and oxygen formula is O2 and copper oxide is CuO, and we balance it. After balancing we get this is the equation. So this is called a chemical equation. So how we are writing the chemical equation? By using the symbols. So copper symbol is Cu, oxygen symbol is O2, copper oxide is CuO. In simple we are writing by using the symbols and formulae, and this is called chemical equation. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Now similarly you can see aluminium when react with oxygen, it forms aluminium oxide. Aluminium when react with oxygen, it forms aluminium oxide. So see aluminium. Okay, this is aluminium and this is oxygen and forming the aluminium oxide. So this is called chemical equation. What it is called? Chemical equation. If you want to write word equation, how do you write the word equation? So you can write a word equation like this: aluminium, okay, plus oxygen right, gives rise to aluminium oxide. Aluminium oxide. So this is called word equation. What it is called? Word. So these words we are using. Okay. This reaction is called word equation, and this equation is called chemical equation. Chemical equation is what? By using the symbols and formulas we are writing the chemical reaction. Is this clear to you? Chalo, note down this one. Write heading the chemical reactions of metals in that first one. This is the first one, reaction of metals. You write like this, reaction of metals with oxygen. This is the heading, reaction of metals with oxygen, and write fast.
Completed, sir.
Very good. Okay, now next one, say reaction with same oxygen only, but with some other metals. Okay, so in the first slide what you discussed, we discussed about the reaction of oxygen with the copper and aluminium, right? Now here some slight change is there. Okay, here we see some slight changes. Okay, so here in the last slide, okay, so in the last slide what you have seen is, here you have seen that when aluminium, aluminium is reacting with oxygen, so it is forming what? Aluminium oxide. Yes or no? This is called what? Aluminium oxide. But generally, you know, most probably, okay, metal oxides are basic in nature. How they are?
Basic.
So you know no, acids and bases.
Yes, sir.
So here generally metal oxides means when metals burn in oxygen, they form metal oxides. So generally, okay, so I'll write here most of the, okay, can you see? Right, most of the metal oxides, okay, metal oxides are basic in nature. How they are?
Basic in nature.
So write this point now, I will say, okay, most of the metallic oxides are basic in nature. So when metals burn or when metals react with oxygen, they form metal oxides, already we studied, okay, and these metal oxides are basic in nature, means what? Like acids and bases. So they have the basic nature, okay, basic in nature, like bases, okay. But when you see the aluminum oxide, okay, in the previous slide we have seen the aluminum oxide, no? But when you see the aluminum oxide, what is formed? That is not completely basic oxide. That is not completely basic oxide. It has acidic oxide properties also. Its properties are acidic also. Okay, its aluminum oxide has a acidic property also. Okay, it have both the properties. Aluminum oxide has both the properties, like acidic properties is there, basic properties is there. So it can react with the acid also, it can react with the base also. So such oxides which have both acidic and basic nature are called amphoteric oxide. What they are called? Amphoteric, okay, amphoteric oxide. Is this clear to you? So you can see on the screen some metal oxides such as aluminum oxide, zinc oxide, when, okay, show both acidic as well as basic behavior. Such metal oxides which react with both acids and bases to produce salt and water is called amphoteric oxides. So what is the amphoteric oxide? Now you say, simple meaning you say, what are the amphoteric oxide?
The oxides can make both acidic and basic.
Which have both acidic and basic properties. Okay, so which have both acidic and basic properties, means that can behave like acid also, that can behave like a base also. Such properties are called, okay, amphoteric oxide. Is this clear to you? So here how can we say that they are amphoteric oxide? By showing that they can react with the acid also, they can react with the bases also. Okay, they can react with the acid and they can react with the base. Is this clear to you? So here you can see here, so this aluminum oxide is reacting with the acid. This is hydrochloric acid. HCl means what? Hydrochloric acid. And this is NaOH means what? Sodium hydroxide. What it is? Sodium hydroxide. So sodium hydroxide is what? Base. Sodium hydroxide is what? Base. And hydrochloric acid is what? This is acid. So here aluminum oxide reacting with both acid also and base also. Is this clear to you? And in both the cases it is forming the salt and water. So such oxides which have both acidic and basic nature are called amphoteric oxides. Is this clear? Amphoteric oxides can react with acids also and bases also. Okay? Chalo, you write or take a screenshot. With this we stop today and tomorrow we continue the next topic. Okay? Amphoteric oxide. If I ask in the next class still where we are completed, you have to say that we are completed up to amphoteric oxide. And I'll ask then what is amphoteric. Then you have to say that amphoteric oxide means what? Which shows both acidic and basic behavior. Take the screenshot. Which shows both acidic and basic behavior are called amphoteric oxide. Then I'll ask you to give an example for amphoteric oxide. Then you can say that aluminum oxide, zinc oxide are examples for the amphoteric oxide. Like this you have to say. I'll ask the questions in the next class. Okay? Yeah, have taken the screenshot? Right. Okay. So this you complete, this you write in your notebook. Okay, and read it perfectly. Very, very important. Okay. So let's stop our class now. Okay then. Bye.